Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Carl York Center for tonight's matchup between the visiting South Point Pointers and the homestanding Fairland Dragons. Both teams come in with one conference loss. Up at the top, I'm joined by Coach Nikki Hayes tonight. Again, we're going to try to fill our way through this. We added the scoreboard on the bottom, so if it is wrong, bear with me. I'll get it fixed. I'm trying to announce, trying to be athletic director, and trying to run the scoreboard all at the same time here. So, but again, both teams come in with one conference loss. South Point has a conference loss to Chesapeake at South Point. Fairland has a conference loss to Gallipolis here at Fairland. And then Gallipolis has a loss to South Point at South Point, I believe is where it is. I believe. I'm not 100% sure where that game was played at, but I know that we're all kind of deadlocked at the top. South Point, Fairland, Chesapeake, and Gallia all at the top of the OVC. I know Chesapeake, I was looking at some things today. Chesapeake was on a 9-game winning streak going to Gallipolis tonight, I believe was the matchup I seen earlier. So we'll talk a little bit about who's on the floor. First of all, the starters for the Dragons. We got number 10, Carly Hall. Number 7, Macy Workman. Number 5, Miley Murphy. Number 4, Chloe Mayo. Number 12, I believe it is Addison Godby. And number 11, our lone senior, Miss Kylie Bruce. We'll let South Point kind of get situated here, and we're going to let Coach Hayes take over the South Point lineup.
It looks like we've got number 16, Maddie Evans, starting in that one spot. Number 5, Gracie Carmen. Number 2, Saratina Jackson. We've got number 13 out there, Camille Hall. Number 20, Emma Sadler, and that libero in the back, Malia Johnson.
Hey, Macy Workman with a good serve there to start the game. Good rally to start off. Good volleyball by both teams.
Oh, big block.
Big block. And the Dragons get on the board first here. It was a big, huge block. We've seen Kylie do this numerous times, both in volleyball and basketball. She plays at the net. Really good, long arm kid that can get up off the floor. So it was a good block by her.
Absolutely, it's great. It's great this season to have 2 big blocks out there on that outside hitter with Addison Godby out there too. Yeah,
another good serve by Macy Workman. Yeah, like you said, Fairland has a lot of length on the floor with Addison, Kylie, Carly, and Mayo.
Great kill for Kylie right there.
Yep.
She's really grown as a player since she started her freshman year. She has a really good rhythm. She uses some of those basketball skills to get up on the ball and hits down. I
agree. She's a very athletic kid. She's a great kid, too. She was sitting down at the scores table with me before this game started. Very encouraging to the young kids during the JV game and talking to them. Just great player. I'm sure, I see Betty. Correct? It's Betty?
Debbie.
Debbie, my bad. Keep calling her Betty. Maybe her middle name's Betty, and that's what I keep calling her. But I see Debbie down there on the end of the bench tonight, cheering the girls on again.
Great serve by Macy Workman again, that time for an ace.
Right. Are we supposed to spell out A-C-E, slap the floor or something every time there's an ace? Are you doing that?
I'm not going to go ahead and do the cheers into the microphone, but the girls will do it in 3 parts, on the floor, on the bench, and then in the stands.
Awesome.
The Pointers have a big hitter in that number 13 out there on the outside. She'll be one to watch tonight for them.
Camille Hall. She's also the catcher on the softball team, correct? Is she the catcher?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Maybe I lied.
I think she plays club volleyball in the spring.
Volleyball. Did they have a catcher that kind of resembled her?
They had a couple of different catchers when we played them this year. I think they move their girls around a lot. Their program is pretty developmental right now.
What we got going on here? I don't know what happened.
Baby on the loose?
We got oh yeah. The volleyball player's chasing, and the baby's coming up the steps a lot faster than the volleyball player. Yep. He's going to make a round up here. Macy Workman with another good serve. Again, for those of you who are tuning in, the girls wearing white, they're the libero. They do not count towards the subs, towards the substitutions. We figured it out as 27 per.
It's actually not. I was totally crazy. It's 18.
18.
You looked me in the eyes and I forgot the rules of volleyball.
Oh, my bad, my bad. So it's 18. It must have been 27 before they added a libero, and now it's 18. So you get 18 substitutions, and the libero does not count to it.
Right. So Jordan's going to come in and play back row for both of our middles. So she'll play back row right now. You see Miley Murphy on the bench down there until she rotates around to the front row, and then Jordan will stay in and serve for Kylie.
Dragons off to a hot 7-1 start here in this first set, correct? First set.
Yes.
Carly Hall with her, I believe it was her third straight serve there. Mayo with the attack. Kylie Bruce with a good kill there.
That's like her signature tip. You'll see her even slam it a little harder sometimes.
Yes. We have timeout South Point. South Point's coach wants to kind of just settle her girls down a little bit. I know as a former coach, but I coach basketball and football, you get in these situations, you get down early, you kind of just got to bring your girls over and say, look, we got to weather the storm just a little bit, settle down and continue to play. There's still a lot of volleyball left. Again, just settle down. We're weathering the storm. We'll get back in this here in just a second.
Maybe ice the server a little bit.
Yeah. Let's just go play. I mean, the message is basically the same. The terminology is a whole lot different. But, again, the message is the same. Just settle down, play within yourselves, and you'll be fine. You know, a lot of nerves coming into this game, a lot of excitement. Both teams playing really well. I know the Dragons are 8-3. They got a couple losses to some big schools, Loganell, Marietta, and Jackson. So they played a really good schedule. So South Point has too. We got some big wins, you know, like we said, over Gallipolis.
Right, and that's a big win in the OVC.
That's a huge win. You know, and fans at home, if you're just now joining in, Gallipolis has kind of been the staple of the OVC since they come in. I believe it was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. They had not lost a game in the OVC until Fairland beat them last year here to tie the conference.
Right.
And so for South Point to get them as a first-time South Point, it beat them since the guy had been in the league. So again, big staple win for them down there. And then they allowed Chesapeake to sneak in and get them. I believe Chesapeake got them in 5 games, and they got Gallipolis in 5. So it's been some good matches. Good block at the net there by Layla Hall. Should have 9-4 Dragons. Be South Point serve. Camille Hall back behind the serve line with the ball.
You know, Layla with that big block, I was told by a little bird today, it's her birthday.
It's her birthday?
16.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Layla.
Good free ball kill. When you see them do this goofy cheer that they're doing with their arms in the air, that's a free ball kill cheer that started with our alum, Kayleen Gamiri, last year. And it's this weird, silly dance they do, but it gets them so fired up.
Hey, whatever it takes to, you know, ease the mind a little bit and just go have some fun. It's one of the things that we've talked about in the past, even with your softball team. When it was early on and you're playing with a lot of nerves and your girls aren't smiling, you don't play well. But when you start having fun and smiling, that's when you start playing the game like it should be played. You start playing it well.
There's a kill for Chloe Mayo.
That's back-to-back kills for Chloe, right?
Yep.
Chloe's just a sophomore?
She's a junior.
She's a junior. Sorry, she's just a junior. Again, Kylie Bruce is the only senior that we have on the team. Sophomore Addison Godby, the serve back here. Armilovich with a bump.
Back row attack into the net for Carly Hall. That's something that the team's really been working hard on over the past couple years, is to use hitters from the back row as well as the front row and try to get some kills from back there also. So they're going to keep trying on that.
Now, what is the rule? You can't try to spike it from the back row, correct? Am I making that up?
It's more like they can still swing and attack from back there, but I mean, it's harder to hit straight down, obviously, from back there, and they can't jump from inside that 10-foot line.
Okay.
They have to stay back below the 10-foot line.
10-foot line. We've seen a big kill there by South Point. Gets the score back to 11-6 Dragons.
Oh.
A little miscommunication there between Jordan Spencer and Audrey Stevenson. Usually when you see both of them kind of just start staring at each other, you know that one of them should have called the other one off, and
Yeah, they collided a little bit there on that one.
Miley Murphy with a kill. That was tipped at the net. So that'll be point Fairland. Put Fairland 12-7. A substitution for the Pointers.
We've got Chloe Mayo back here to serve.
Chloe with just a little bit too much mustard on that serve. I was informed when we were setting up here, Coach. Kylie Bruce yelled up at me. She said, "Are we live streaming? Are you guys talking tonight?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "Just remember, I did not go to the concession stand to get popcorn last week. I was getting a drink of water." So I said, "Okay." I said, "Tonight, then you'll be going to get some pizza." So. We see her run off the floor. We know she's going to the concession stand
Maybe
again.
we can just have it delivered to her on the bench.
Oh, is that Domino's, the pinpoint delivery or something like that? Maybe she can ping a point here and get her a pizza. Good block by Kylie. Miley with a big kill.
Back row kill, nice. She followed up a great serve with a back row kill.
Yep.
Great play by Miley.
There was some good play up here at the net by Saratina Jackson, too, for South Point. She had a couple big blocks and a couple just little tips there on that rally. Miley serving the ball. Miley's a sophomore, junior.
She's a sophomore.
She's a sophomore. Great play
Good
by
save on
Miley.
that through ball.
Armilovich with play at the net. And Carly Hall with a big,
hard hit.
big hit, too.
Oh, that slide is beautiful when Kylie gets up.
Yeah. That's just Kylie going up. We set her, and it's just Kylie going up to be an athlete is what that is.
Right.
It's so like we said there last week, you know, Kylie's already committed to play basketball at Malone. Her and Bree Allen's going to Tiffin off that basketball team. They're going to have their signings on the 9th and 10th of November. I can't remember which day's which, but the 9th and the 10th of November, those two are going to sign for their respective colleges. It was Saratina Jackson with the play at the net for a point for the Pointers. Say that real fast. Point for the Pointers.
A little too far.
I believe that was Saratina again with a point. I want to give a big shout out to South Point's AD, Chase Kratzenberg. Chase kind of took over right at the end of when we were getting ready to start back from COVID. Chase took over, and he's done some amazing things down at South Point with that program. He's changed a lot of coaches. He's brought in some new coaches. New coach this year, I believe it's Cambria Coleman. I think I saw somewhere that she played volleyball at Eastern Kentucky.
I'm told she's a really great hitting coach.
Yeah, and so, you know, she's helping turn this program around. And again, what Chase is doing down there, he's very energetic, a very exciting young man. Great co-worker in the OVC from the athletic department standpoint. So, Chase, keep up the good work. We appreciate everything you're doing down there. Armilovich with the serve.
Big walk at the net again. Good touch.
Good. Another good rally by both teams. Big block by Kylie.
Way to be there.
South Point had kind of started to claw their way back into this. It's now 16-12. Fairland.
Just had a substitution. Maddie Evans came in for Liz Armilovich in the back row.
And we saw South Point kind of take that early timeout there, and coach kind of settled them down a little bit, and they started to claw their way back in. Oh, net. Now we got a South Point player over on the Fairland side. I would believe that's definitely a net call.
Yeah, she just came a little over.
Just a little bit over. She didn't mean to. 17-12 Dragons. Macy Workman back up. She was our first serve.
A little long.
Just a little bit. A little bit too much mustard on that. That's what I referred to earlier. So
You know, I taught Kylie Bruce during softball season about putting a little mustard on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so shocked by the condiments that she tried to use every other condiment in Cheers for the rest of the season.
But just the rest of them, too much relish, too much ketchup, just doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
Another great kill for Kylie. Carly Hall back to serve for the Dragons. Ooh, just out.
Just a bit outside. No, I wouldn't even say a bit. That was just like, Jason's got a better view of it down there than I do, I guess, because that one was really close.
He does. And he's a practice official.
Yes, practice official. He's got a daughter on the Fairland team. He's a South Point alum. Another big block.
Another huge block.
Godby coming up limping there. I think she may have come down on Bruce's ankle there. I know she's had a tender ankle back from basketball.
The spring,
yeah.
She was in a boot in the spring. She missed the second half of softball season after rolling it at a basketball practice.
Now the bad part, we're in between trainers right now. Mike has left us for another job, a little bit better job, not in the athletic training field, but so we're in between trainers. So if anybody is a licensed Ohio trainer and you'd like to get into the field, Marshall Sports Institute is looking for at least one trainer for Fairland, and I think Tom Dalmaggio told me they were looking for a couple others too.
Miley Murphy with the big block at the net and putting it back over.
Big play there by Molly Adams.
The big injury worry in volleyball are a lot of times those plays at the net where those girls are coming up right on top of each other, and then when they come down, so many ankle injuries occur there.
Yep.
Neil Hall with the serve.
Just that little, barely can just graze a shoe and twist an ankle back. Oh, two South Point players bumping each other.
Milovich with the tip.
Jordan with a.
Oh, she just went head first.
She went head first into a. South Point Superintendent Sam Goo over there. He put a hand down there, tried to catch her, but big shout out to Sam. Childhood buddy of mine, even though he went to that school down the river that wears purple. Sam and I have known each other for years. He's a great guy. Can't say enough about Sam and what he's done for the South Point schools, Rock Hill schools over the years. Just a great guy. See another point for Fairland.
Audrey Stevenson back to serve. She's another sophomore that's on varsity this year.
Addison Copley coming back in for the pointers. You know, I think we touched on this last week. The Dragons, extremely young. You've seen a lot of Miley Murphy with a huge play at the net. Puts the Dragons up 21-16. We got South Point using their second and final timeout. That's what the little dots are. The little dots are right beside on our scoreboard, right beside the school's names are the timeouts that they have left. You see, Fairland's got 2, South Point's got none. They do it a little different in volleyball than other sports. Other sports, basketball, they'll come over and tell you got 2 timeouts left, or football, they'll tell you got 1 or 2 or 3 timeouts, whatever. Volleyball, they tell you how many you've used.
It's actually so stressful when they're holding up numbers at you, and you're used to the other sports when they tell you you're out. They are telling you have 2, and you're like, I have 2, and they're like, you don't.
No, you've used 2. I don't really know why that they've done that. But again, they tell you how many you've used.
All right, so Coach Haynes has incentives for coming out after a timeout and getting an ace. So let's see if Audrey can put one and score a point on the pointers right here.
She got one.
That's Starbucks.
Well, it's Starbucks. Like Hannah Gamiri from Bunch Realty sponsors some gift cards for the girls if they get an ace coming out of the timeout. The correct?
Yes.
Hannah, also, if you can hear our students, I'm sure you can. We're not building onto the gym. It's just our students down here. They got some some, I don't even know what those things are called.
I think they're called Thunder Sticks.
Thunder Sticks, yeah. Hannah brought in some Thunder Sticks for our students. They are allowed to use them when the ball is not in play. So,
and I'm told we'll have the joy of the Thunder Sticks at the football game tomorrow night also.
That's what she said. She said she thinks she's got enough for every student in the student section.
Oh, goodness. Big kill for Chloe Mayo on that right side.
Makes it 23-17 Dragons. We do need to call out Food Fair, correct? Food Fair donated some money tomorrow night for.
They're actually donating a fruit tray, a veggie tray, and some sliders for the faculty.
Yeah. It's gonna be we're gonna have a faculty tailgate tomorrow night at the football game. We try to do this once a year to bring in some more of our faculty at the ball games. So Food Fair has donated slider tray, vegetable tray, and fruit tray. Some other teachers are bringing some other sides and stuff. So if you're a faculty member at Fairland, bus driver, janitor, come on down and join us tomorrow night in the back of the end zone on the high jump apron. We'll have a little tailgate before the game. Coach, what time are you guys going to be set up?
We're going to be set up by 6:15.
So be set up by 6:15. So, also the Coach Harris, myself, Mr. Carroll, Coach Carroll, and Coach Jackson will be doing our pregame show 6 to 6:30 tomorrow. Talk a little bit about the game at hand. We're going to do some OVC picks. Fairland wins that one 25-18.
You may even get somebody from the tailgate to come over and be a special guest.
Ooh.
It won't be me.
It won't be you? Now, do we still have, I know at one time we had discussed maybe some activities for some of the students. Do we still doing that, or are we doing that on homecoming?
I think we're actually going to trial it next Friday.
Next Friday,
We're going to maybe attempt to go with a race of sorts between our dragon, and I have some inflatable dinosaur costumes.
Okay.
So
that's for the Gallipolis game the following week. We're going to kind of get some of our students involved in some things, probably between the first and second quarter.
We'll just have to make sure we warn the cheerleaders.
Well, yeah, we want the cheerleaders. You don't need a cheerleader run over by a T-Rex or a dragon.
I actually just bought an extra one. It's one of the ones that it looks like you're riding on the dinosaur.
Oh, even better, even better.
I don't know how this is going to work all the way, but it's going to be funny.
So.
And then maybe, for homecoming, we can turn it into a split the pot kind of event, and you can bet on which dinosaur is going to win.
I like that. Do I get to see who's in the dinosaur costume before they take off, or it's a blind bet?
They're inside an inflatable dinosaur. You can't see who it is.
What are I know you've probably seen them. You've been to some baseball games and stuff. There's those characters. I can't even remember we saw them at Marshall one year. These big blow-up things, and they come out and they, gosh, what are they? And they eat one of the security guards.
Oh, goodness.
You know what I'm talking about?
I have not seen a security guard get eaten.
It's great. It's great. They're my wife and I. Was it Marshall? I think it was Marshall basketball game we went to years ago. We laughed. They were the funniest things. I wish I could remember what they were called. They were hilarious. So, again, we got football tomorrow night at home against Rock Hill. Back in the OVC schedule. We kind of have that weird schedule where we play Ironton and then take a non-conference week, and then we're back in the league tomorrow night at home against Rock Hill. Rock Hill's coming in after a tough loss last week in overtime at Portsmouth. So they're trying to get back on the winning ways. Dragons are wanting to continue the winning ways. So big matchup here tomorrow night. 7 o'clock kickoff. And then the little guys have a huge game on Saturday.
Yeah, they get to play at night this
Saturday
week.
Night.
And they're going to start with the A-team experience game at 5:30, and then C-team at 6:30, B-team at 7:30, and the A-team gets the night game under the lights, and they'll play as soon as the B-team's done.
Not to contradict you there, but I think it's getting dark a little bit early. More than just the last one, I think, is going to be under the lights.
I guess that 7:30 game probably will be.
7:30 yeah. The majority of that one will be under the lights.
Not my son. I'll still be sweating in the sun. My son's the quarterback for the C team.
And so sweating in the sun's different than sweating to the oldies that that used to be the workout that Richard Pryor, or not Richard Pryor.
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons. But Richard Pryor made one of those workouts too. But seen South Point have the first serve there.
Little tip for the first point for the Dragons.
Kylie Bruce with just a little tip. Got maybe first 2 fingers on it, just enough to tip it over.
I could suggest to the student section that you'd like us sweating to the oldies
Sweating
team.
the oldies, yes.
They may want you to dress up as Richard Simmons.
Gosh, they don't want to see that. I promise you. I don't know
Push
that,
for Audrey for a point.
I don't know that my wife wants to see that either. So.
You know, we talked a little bit about tennis last time. I've been hearing that there's not a lot of tennis going on down there, but they have been playing some pickleball down at the locks.
Yes. Angie George, I believe it was, had told me that she was down there playing some pickleball. Kelly Jackson, Michael Jackson, head football coach's wife, I know she'd said that she went down there last Saturday and played some pickleball. I know our trustees, they've done a great job of cleaning up down there. If you haven't been down to the locks, between the trustees and Hometown Love.
Another kill for Kylie Bruce.
These 2 organizations have gotten together and they've went down to the locks and they have done some amazing things. Cleaning up down there, redoing some river banks and some different things. We were up there for Run by the River last week for the cross country. And it's the cleanest and the best I've seen it look in the 10 years I've been the athletic director.
It's really nice to have a place for the community to go and hang out. I know the kids like to play basketball down there too.
Yeah. That's one of the things they did a few years ago. They had a tennis court down there originally, 1 or 2 tennis courts down there originally. And those had kind of went by the way, and the river kind of tore them up a little bit when they got up on them, and they resurfaced them a couple years ago with some money they had gotten. And
Carly with another big serve. Dragons are up 5-1 already.
And then I saw that they'd added pickleball in it.
Yep.
So.
I'll have to go down there and try it out. Look, she got on top of that serve just a little bit and sent it into the tape at the top of the net.
Now, I do know that you have a, we'll talk about the debate. You have a debate coming up here for, what is the date on that again?
We're still finalizing for sure, but we're looking at October 24th.
So that'll be here at Fairland High School.
Yeah, we're going to invite all of the candidates running for school board to come out, and we are going to run it with my JSA club, my president, Katie Stitt, and our director of debate, Zaid Mustafa. They're going to help me moderate the debate, and we're going to work on some good questions to kind of see where these candidates stand on policy and their goals for the district so that the voters can get a good idea before they go to the polls that first week in November.
I think it's a great idea, and I think it'll be a good night.
We're really excited about it. The kids they've been wanting to do some kind of event now for a couple of years, and they're excited to be involved at the ground level. We're going to live stream it. They're going to run the timers. We're going to run it kind of like a presidential panel style debate.
Do I get to do, like, can I make a scoreboard for that? Like,
sure.
Kind of like Wild 'N Out, the show Wild 'N Out Nick Cannon does. We'll do a little scoreboard, a little buzzer.
You can sit in the sound booth in the cafeteria and commentate on the debate. It'll be like what the Mannings do for football.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Great hit down the line for Chloe Mayo. She's had some excellent hits tonight.
She has. Chloe's had some great ones. Kylie's had some great ones. They've all played extremely well here in the first set and a half.
Lots of smart play, strong hits. I'm impressed. We're going to use this free ball, hopefully, to set up another big kill. Oh.
Well, it was a kill.
But a tip. A sneaky tip.
But Miley didn't kill it there, but she did get a...
That was a smart play. They had that block right up on her.
She played well there.
It was a good pickup and serve receive for their libero. Let's see if Fairland can capitalize on it. We're also playing very strongly at the net tonight.
Yeah. We got a timeout. Let me get my score updated here. We got a timeout. South Point, Fairland up 10-3.
One of the drills the girls love to do in practice to work on that net play is called jousting, and they go head to head, and we just toss the ball up right at the top of the net, and they just have to see who can win, who can push the hardest, and so they practice this a lot. Their net play is really strong.
When you say jousting, that's not like the LARPing group over in Ritter Park, right?
There are no horses.
Okay.
No actual jousts, no knights, but just head-to-head combat.
Head-to-head combat
on the volleyball court.
We had Cameron Campbell, and I can't remember. It was Bentley. The last name was Bentley. Katie Bentley. They were our office workers. It was my first or second year over here, and they would come in, and they were in a LARPing club over in Ritter Park, and they would come in. I believe it was Tuesday mornings or Wednesday mornings or something, and talk about going over there and doing LARPing, and it was interesting.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Another big block. Layla Hall out there with the swing, but our block was right there and put it back over.
Dragons up 11-3. Jordan Spencer with the serve there. Now, there's a difference, Coach. We saw it right there. There's a difference between 2 hits and a block and a hit, correct?
Right.
In volleyball?
They're allowed to block up there above the net, but then they're also allowed to come down and hit it again if it comes down on their side.
Right. So unless it's a block at the net in volleyball, you cannot hit the ball 2 consecutive hits.
Correct.
Camille Hall back to serve for the Pointers. Dragons up 11-4. A little bit too much mustard there for Chloe Mayo that time. We got another delay. We'll check with the score, I guess. So I know you had the opportunity, it was yesterday, you took your kids over to watch the West Virginia Supreme Court?
I did, yeah. It was a really great field trip. The West Virginia Supreme Court puts on an event with Marshall, and they bring the court down for a day. They set it up in the Joan C. Edwards Performing Arts Center. They set it up as close to how a courtroom looks as possible, with all the justices up on the stage and the tables for the lawyers and the podium down below. And we got to hear oral arguments on a couple different cases, one involving some firefighters from Morgantown, and another dealing with the DHHR and medical licenses. It was a lot of really technical lawyer talk. I think at times the kids were kind of lost.
A little overwhelmed.
But they were really invested on who's going to win. That's what they would ask me after every case. Who's going to win this one? I don't know yet. We'll see what they decide.
That's a competitive nature in kids. Somebody's got to be a winner.
Right. I think they enjoyed it, though. And, I mean, you know they always enjoy a day away.
Do you find it odd that Marshall's named after John Marshall? They've had the West Virginia Supreme Court hearing there yesterday, and they do not have a law school.
I do find that
I find that really
surprising.
Odd.
Maybe it's in the works. Oh, big kill from Miley Murphy on the outside.
I know when I was a student over there, I had I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to get him in trouble if he's, because I think he was on the Board of Governors at one time. And he used to talk about that all the time. It was educational psych class, and he used to talk about how odd it was that Marshall was named after John Marshall, but did not have a law school.
It's pretty surprising. Especially because there's not really one very close in general in the area. So you would think it would have been a regional choice.
Yeah, you have to go to, what, W has a law school.
W, UK, Cincinnati, Ohio State.
And Capital has a great law school up there.
Jordan again trying to go for that save on that ball back in the back corner. Just couldn't quite get there. She tossed that one arm out, but wasn't enough. Pointers are making a play and coming back in this one.
Molly Adams with the serve back there. Third straight, I believe. They've hung around. They're battling.
Yeah.
Good play by Carly Hall.
The Pointers have really grown as a program just in the years since I started coaching volleyball. They struggled a lot early on, and they've had a few coaches really put in the time, and their girls are really committed. There's a bunch of them that play travel ball, and they've got a real shot this season.
Yeah.
If they can string together some wins.
I agree. And that's why, you know, with our league being so competitive this year, like we still have to go to Gallia. We still have to go to South Point.
Yep. Well, and now that Chesapeake's in there as a contender also.
And we still have to go to Chesapeake, so.
Yeah, those are going to be some hard road games.
Yeah. Most of the majority of our scheduled games were at home in the OVC early on in our schedule, and then we're going to have to go on the road for some extremely tough ones.
And it's always hard to play at Gallia, especially since they painted the floor blue. I don't know what it is, but it really just messes with your depth perception.
The blue highlighter.
Yep. That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
Layla Hall back to serve again. Pointers only down 2 now. So that 4 hit, that tells you that it didn't quite make it over to the net to the block. So no block will be recorded in the stats for those players.
Good tip by Miley Murphy there. But a good follow-up by Ermilovich to tie this ball game up at 13.
One thing I've noticed tonight, South Point must really be working on those pushes back to those back corners because both their JV and their varsity are really targeting those spots.
You see Annie Chin checking in for the first time tonight. Annie's a freshman.
A little too much. See that joust at the net?
Yep, joust at the net. Oh, yeah.
Good swing for Miley.
Fairland back up 14 to 13, bringing Kylie Bruce back in for Jordan Spencer.
Miley Murphy back to serve. This is where they're really going to have to push points to kind of create some separation. Oh, another baby on the loose.
My babies are getting older now. They're 12 and 10. We got another one on the loose down here too.
Yeah, a little one with the ball.
And I used to stand out here in the door when it was Ellison was the bad one. Yardley wasn't so much, but Ellison, she'd run across the floor and everything else. And I'd stand out here in the corner and she'd run across the floor and some people would holler something about it. And I just holler, whose kid is that anyway?
It's the best course of action.
Yeah.
Or at least yell, her mom's here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, great dump by Macy Workman.
It was. You know, you say that about her mom's here somewhere. They were little. Probably Ellison was 5, Yardley was 6, 7. And Megan come in, she dropped him off to me. She went out, some of her girlfriends for dinner. Something, she come in, she goes, where's the kids at? I was like, well, the rule is, as long as they stay inside the building, we're fine. I think she found Ellison asleep on the stage in there. And Yardley was out here in the hallway with it may have been at that time Allie Marshall and Kelsey Warnock.
Yep. Oh, just
outside, just a little bit.
Both teams are putting together some really good rallies.
Yes, it's been some good. You know, we kind of mentioned Kelsey. She's coaching volleyball and basketball up at Fairfield Union, teaching up there. She's getting married here next week or so, I think it is.
Kylie Bruce with that left-handed tip. Did you see her just show her left hand to Profe?
Yeah.
Look what I can do, Coach.
Yeah. But I probably couldn't have helped raise my kids any better. Though Allie and Kelsey, I'd bring them in, and they'd put their hair in a ponytail for me. And we'd go to basketball camp. I was still helping John coach basketball at the time. And we'd go to basketball camps, and they'd take care of them when they weren't on the floor. So those two girls are heroes to my daughters, and they love them so much.
They are great. And Allie's teaching here at Fairland now, too, so they both grew up to continue to work with kids.
Right.
Point for the Pointers. Staying within 2 right now. You're right, it is kind of hard to say that. Point for the Pointers.
Point for the Pointers, yeah. Annie with a big play. Kylie with a good save there. It's a little bit too much mustard on that one. Fairland still up 17-16.
I think maybe she saw that block go up and thought she was going to place it around it a little bit and just put a little too much on it.
Just noticed Addison Godby back in the game. She got, looks like her ankle brace on.
She looks like she's got a little hitch in her get up.
Just
though.
a little bit.
Neil Hall with a big hit down the line.
Huge. Ties that game up at 17 all. Another point for the Pointers. This is Gracie Carmen back serving for the Pointers. The big block by Adams and Jackson up there on Kylie Bruce. Pointers take a, the score right? 19 to 17 lead now. Sorry, I was behind on that. This little tip by Macy Workman. Carly with a big swing. Pointers are up now 20 to 17. Timeout Dragons.
This is going to be a big defensive battle for these last points. Both teams are swinging big, hitting hard. These liberos back here are really having to work.
Yeah, they are. Both teams have taken one timeout. Both teams have one timeout each. So as we take a little break here, JSA have any, other than the debates coming up, got anything else coming up for those kids?
Not yet. We're talking about maybe doing a voter registration drive. We want to get a bunch of our seniors registered to vote, especially with next year being a presidential election year. We want to get them all ready before they graduate so that they can exercise their civic duty. And I think I might make a big push this year to see if I can get some of our kids in working the polls.
Oh, okay.
You only have to be 17,
right,
and they'll pay you. So I'm hoping that some of my students, between the juniors and seniors, will get out and get involved and make a little money while they're at it.
That's a great experience. My mom was, for years, she was a central committeeman of LaBelle 7, I think is what it is. It's the one that you and your husband would vote in. And she worked that for years. I worked the poll a couple times. Missy worked it a couple times.
You know, actually, we voted at Miller.
Oh, you voted Miller?
Because we're out there on that hill. Oh, kill for Kylie. That's a big point. Hopefully this is the momentum changer for us.
Yeah. Dragons are down now 21-18.
Chloe Mayo back in.
I think it's very important that our young kids get involved with the political aspect of things. If for anything, just the understanding of how it works and some different things. They are our future leaders, the people that's going to be running our country, our communities, our cities, school boards.
And they're interested. They have so many questions. I would really encourage parents out there, talk to your kids about what's going on and how to get involved. They want to know. They want to help. Layla Hall with the kill. Pointers up 23-18.
Coach Haynes taking her second and final timeout. of this set.
This is going to go back to that drill I told you about last time that they run all the time in practice. They call it Find a Way to Win, and they put a scoreboard up just like this, and they go to work against our very good JV teams, and they have to find a way to get to 25 before the other team does, and hopefully they're going to be prepared in this moment for that.
Hope so. I hope so. See Eliza Wilson coming in. I know they had a big golf match. I believe at Creekside today. I believe it was Creekside or Sugarwood won. Girls OVC match is Monday at Esquire. And then the boys will play next Friday in the OVC down at Portsmouth Elks.
Already having OVC?
OVC.
Man.
They got to get, what I've been told is they have to get your conference, district, or sectional and district and state meets in before frost.
Okay.
Because they'll have frost delays. And so they got to get them in before those things start.
Both teams working really hard here. Great rally, kill for the Dragons.
Because we were up, I believe it was the last year Hannah Schrout made the state golf match, and they had a frost delay that morning. Put them behind about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I hadn't considered that would be an issue.
Yeah. And you're playing at a high state on the scarlet and gray course, either the scarlet or the gray side. Very pristine course, and they're not going to let you get out there and walk around and kill some grass in the frost.
This is going to be the set point here.
Set point for the pointers.
Camille Hall back to serve.
Camille Hall with the ball in her hands. Chloe Mayo with a big hit.
Good defense there by Macy Workman.
Ermilovich with the kill for the final point of that one. Pointers take the second match. 25-20.
The Dragons are going to have to regroup here. Try not to come out discouraged. Come back out fresh, ready to fight.
It's a new day. You tied up 1-1. Play the best of 5 here. We saw this against Gallipolis. We saw Fairland come out and take the first set against Gallipolis and then unfortunately drop the next 3. Let's hope they can get things turned around here and get things back underneath there. So as we talk about, golf coming up, we got Eliza Wilson, I know, golfer Kaylee Saggers, senior, several girls, Emma Barker. I'm trying to think who all I've seen.
Isabella James.
Isabella James had a hole-in-one at the district meet last year up at Big Beaver, up in Piketon.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. She was on the. She may still be on the Ohio High School Athletic Association webpage for that hole-in-one. I think it was the first one they'd had in girls golf in the Southeast Ohio is what they told me.
Wow.
I know it was a huge deal. It is a huge deal. We can go your whole life and never hit a hole-in-one, and she hit one in a golf match. So
awesome.
Exciting times for them. I know Marley Speed's also on the golf team. So all those girls, there'll be 6 of them that are going out to Esquire on Monday to compete for the OVC championship. That's something that has grown. We did not have, I don't know that my first few years we had a girls golfer in our school, and then Hannah comes along, and Hannah makes 3 trips to the state tournament. She helps them win a girls OVC championship there, whatever end I got. Over in 2000, what is that? It's way over on the other side. The numbers look like it's about 18. 2018, Hannah helped them win that. Not only did Hannah, I know Hannah was the medalist in the girls golf match in Ohio. You can play mixed if you don't have enough whatever. But I know she was the medalist in the boys, or in the girls, and she may have been, she wasn't the medalist, but I think she was the second best scorer in the boys match also. So
it's really impressive.
Yeah.
I am terrible at golf. My grandma won't even play with me.
Won't even play with you?
She told me that I swing a golf club like a softball bat. Surprising, right?
Yeah.
Kylie Bruce with the kill to start the game.
That's one thing. I am horrible. I'll play in a couple scrambles a year, playing the OVC scramble, playing the Fairland basketball scramble, and that is it. My buddies tell me I play old man golf, hit it 100 yards, and go hit it again. So. We're going to replay that. I believe is what it's called. We had some artificial noisemakers going on during match play there.
The boys got yelled at by the referee.
Yeah, we'd made that announcement. No artificial, but I think a couple of them. We got a couple new ones come in. I think they had their backs to them. I think they had their backs to the floor and didn't see what was going on. So, been a good group of students this year so far. I know C.J. Graham. See him sitting down there with your daughter. We probably don't want to talk about that, right? No, C.J.'s a good kid. Sitting down there with your daughter, and Tristan Daly and a couple others have been great this year.
They have. They're learning the cheers too.
They are.
The last game, they were right in there on that third chorus of the block cheers and the kill cheers.
Yeah, I saw them the first game. They had a little card with some things wrote down, and I got a little nervous because usually when they got a card, that means that they found out somebody's name or somebody's boyfriend name, and get a little nervous. And then I realized it was just, what do we do when it's an ace? What do we do when it's a block? So, again, those guys have done a great job. Noah Markham, Darius Lewis, they do an outstanding job on Friday nights with the football or at football games. So, been a good year so far for our students.
They are doing a great job. Although I'm a little interested to see how this hunters and animals theme works out this week.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, the good news is if half of them are wearing camouflage on Friday night, we won't be able to see them in the student section. They'll just blend in over there. I'll look over there and think I only got 5 or 6 students. So.
I told the girls instead of dressing up in their little cute outfits, they should all just show up in full ghillie suits.
Oh, yeah.
Right in on that tip for Kylie Bruce.
Kylie Bruce. Yeah. Got a decent crowd in here. Most times on volleyball, we only bring out one set of bleachers. When we know it's going to be a bigger crowd, we bring out both sides. So we got a pretty decent crowd in here tonight for volleyball.
Yeah, South Point usually travels to see their girls play.
Macy with a play. And net call. He called it on Fairland 7. I think Kylie's going to go over and question that call. What she felt like.
They want him to call that they came over the net at the top there. Macy, that pass was a little long, and Macy tried to keep it in with that one hand. But the girls seem to think that South Point was over the net, blocking her play.
Now, this is one of the few sports that a player can actually appeal a call, correct?
Right, yeah, the captain on the floor can go over and speak to the official in that instance, but the captain's the only player that can go over.
Okay. Which is completely different from every other sport where officials will say, no, we're not talking to the players.
Exactly.
Kylie Bruce with a big killer. She put a lot of mustard on that one, but one got a hand over on it. Mila Johnson had tipped that ball, so it's point for the Dragons. See, the boys soccer's down at South Point tonight. Just got a text that it is tied up 1-1, 23:45 left in the first.
The boys are really hoping for a win tonight. That was a great kill by Addison Godby.
I believe a win tonight puts them back even in the back in a tie for first place. I'm not for sure, but I think so.
They were asking in class today if I was going to make it to their game tonight. I told them I'd be here with you on the live stream.
Gabe Polson scored that goal at the 15-minute mark. So we'll try to find out the girls' score. My brother-in-law, my nephew plays. And, so I'm going to text him and see if he can get me a girls' score. But the middle school football team was down at Portsmouth tonight.
Another kill for Kylie Bruce.
So it is 8-2 Dragons. Dragons out to another hot start.
Now, I've got Max Preps open here. Is volleyball going to follow the same suit as softball and baseball and seeding this year? Use Max Preps?
From my understanding, they said they were going to. That was the big thing in some early season meetings I was in. But when I was looking at some stuff today, I was a little bit concerned about some of our teams in our league.
They don't have all their information.
Right. I think it's got Rock Hill's 1-1 or something crazy like that.
And I'm sure they've played more than that. Now, if schools are using a program like Huddle, that's going to integrate with Max Prep. So, I mean, a simple click of the button would get everybody's stuff in, but it doesn't really seem like.
Right.
I don't know. I'm interested to see how it's going to work out. I'm nervous for the seeding if it's based on Max Preps and it's based on everybody self-reporting instead of the system we've been using.
And that's kind of what we had talked about. I talked with Coach Buchanan about that system too, that the basketball's adopted with Max Preps, because we're depending on schools to put that information in. When they talked about using the Martin RPI, those guys that were running that program, I don't know who they are. I just know it's Martin's RPI. Those guys would email you. If they didn't see a score, they would email you the next day, hey, what was the score of your game? If you played an out-of-state team, they would ask you how big is that school and some different things. But with the Max Preps, they're basically saying the schools are going to be doing that reporting. And so I don't know how it's going to work. I'm interested to see how it's going to work. Originally, I know soccer is using it. I don't know about volleyball for sure. They told me originally volleyball was, but maybe it's just going to be, we're going to trial and error it and see how it goes.
Kill for Miley Murphy there in the middle. I think the only way it could really work out is if they impose penalties on schools that don't do what they're supposed to. I agree.
I went through and was checking things today and was looking at our football one. We got it updated, got some things squared away there. I know football uses they use a Hebron points to determine some things. There was a lot of questions about how this was going to look. There's a couple people in the community had messaged me when they seen that Ohio High School was going to this and asked my opinion. And I said, I'm in favor of it because it takes a lot of the biased opinion out of it.
Right.
You're looking at your strength of schedule. You're looking at who you played, who they played. So you're not necessarily looking anymore. It's a big ace by Jordan. You're able to take some of that human, whatever you want to call it, human influence out of this vote. You know as well as I do, you and I had a big conversation the last 2 years about, well, where do you want to play or who do you want to play?
Right.
And maybe work on some voting.
Right.
Not necessarily like screw somebody over, but instead of voting them a 6, let's vote them a 7. So that maybe we can influence in where we go here.
Right.
That's not going to be the case anymore.
Right. Every coach isn't going to have to really kind of jockey for a position. And I mean, I'd hope this isn't the case, but you know, it does take out any opportunity for somebody to look at an opponent they don't particularly like and send them to a terrible spot in the bracket.
Well, and we've talked about it. You and I talked about it too. When we moved up in D2 with basketball and softball and now volleyball, we take out, it's only us and Gallipolis in the room.
Right.
We're the only 2 OVC schools. So the FAC is loaded down in that D2 room. So if they wanted to, in sense, they could put you about where they wanted to put you at on that bracket because of the number of schools that was in the FAC.
Yeah, it's extra hard for us because we haven't been in D2 very long at all. So the coaches don't know us. They don't know our teams. And, I mean, relying on Gallipolis to be your only ally in the room, you know,
Right.
makes it kind of difficult.
Makes it difficult.
I will say their coaches, at least in my experience, are great when it comes to that kind of situation. They seem to take that league loyalty seriously, and you know, they want to see our kids do well and our conference look good. So it's just hard when there's only 2 of you.
Yeah, and that's the purpose of having your league. You know, we were all down in D3, even though there was 7 of us in our league in that D3 room. When we're voting, we still had 10, 11, 12 TVC schools,
Right.
or 10, 11 SOC schools that were still kind of dictating where we were going to go. And so I think this is going to take a lot of the human error out of it and that influence, because now it's based everything on computer rankings and some things like that, who you played, what their records were, and divisions and stuff like that. So I am happy about the change, but I'm interested to see how it's going to work out with max preps and school self-reporting, I should say.
Ohio High School is just going to have to exert some influence. That's kind of some back-to-back rough plays for the Dragons there. They had that first point that was kind of a campfire, everybody just circling around the ball as it dropped. And while the score doesn't reflect it, it looks like maybe they're struggling a little bit to communicate.
Right. Dragons up 17-4.
Good dig by Macy Workman. Gobby with the kill for point number 18.
Dragons up 18-4. Boys and girls cross country team will be at Richmondale Southeastern, just outside of Chillicothe, this coming Saturday for their race. I think the middle school team's going to Ironton, I believe, is where they're going. They're not going up to Richmondale.
Oh, okay. Usually they all go together pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah, usually they travel together. There's a couple that they do not.
That's a far one.
Oh, yeah.
So Aubrey will be on the bus. She is a dual sport athlete this fall. She's running cross country for the first time. It's been a little bit of trial and error for her, but I think she's enjoying it.
It's definitely a different sport. You know, like I said, we were up there last week. I don't know. I'm sure you were up there with the 19 million people that were up there last week watching it. Cross country is a lot of intestinal fortitude is used for cross country.
Yeah.
You know, you're always competing against yourself among other teams. But it also, as the athletic director, to sit back and watch that race up there and to watch some of the kids in how hard they're running and just giving it their all, and they understand that, all right, I run a 37:15 my last race. I got to beat that time. I got to set a new personal record. It's great watching all that.
It is exciting.
So.
And as individual as it is, if anybody is interested in going to one of these races, these kids would love to have people spread out along the course, encouraging them on.
Yes.
They say that, I mean, our coaches are great, and they spread themselves out, and they run from spot to spot, but the kids actually do hear the people yelling for them and encouraging them to keep going when they just want to quit. So if you have any interest in being a cross-country fan, head on out, maybe not necessarily to Southeastern, but our next close one, and cheer on these kids because they are working.
And I agree that it's hard work. I mean, I joke all the time with Dara in the office, and I used to joke with Chuck Wentz. I would have a real hard time, and I was a football player, basketball player, a little bit in school, and baseball. I would have a real hard time showing up to practice every day and coach saying, all right, we're going to run 8 miles today. No, thank you.
Armilovich from the outside. Audrey Stevenson right there to pick it up. Great hit by Carly Hall. They're going to send it back over on a free ball. Let's see if the Dragons can capitalize.
And they did.
Good swing by Miley.
As we're talking about cross country, Nikki, I know you weren't here to have him, but Shawnee State just hired a former Dragon alum, Connor Flynn. I had the opportunity to coach Connor a couple years in basketball at the middle school level and follow his career. His mom teaches here.
Yeah, all my little kids had Miss Flynn. We love her. Her family's fantastic.
I'm so excited for Connor and this opportunity he has down there at Shawnee to put his spin on things. He's following Eric Putnam, who was a highly successful coach, several All-Americans, several conference championships. Connor comes in there, who had turned the Ohio Christian College program around. I believe I'm saying it right. It's the ones in Circleville. So just excited for Connor, and good luck, my man. You need anything, we're always here for you. Do anything for you.
Absolutely. Good luck to him and his runners.
Yeah. I know we got McKenna Panel down there still running off of our team. I'm sure there's others. Please don't get mad at me. Don't send me a text message. You forgot my name. If there's others down there, I'm so sorry. I know McKenna's down there. Emma Marshall was down there. Emma had some things, and she's doing her student teaching now. She's no longer running for them. We've had several boys in the past to go down there and have successful careers. So, again, if you're running at Shawnee State and you're a Dragon alum, we apologize that I forgot your name. But, again, good luck to you and exciting things for you guys coming up.
I called that tip out, but Macy's face was suggesting that maybe she thought it was a little more on the line. It's a big block from Miley Murphy against Sarah Tina Jackson.
Not only was that the block there, just to watch Miley's body language was great right there on that one.
Yeah, she's tough. Carly from the outside. Libero can't get to it.
Dragons up 23-8 in this one. Up 23-8.
Well, I think so far, if they can push these 2 points, they did exactly what we talked about in between games.
Regrouping. And
came out hard for this third set. No.
From 20 feet, it was out. From 70 feet where we're at, it was in.
It looks so close to us.
But again, we're up here on the mezzanine, and I got new glasses, but it's for me to see things close, not far away. Annie Chin with a great effort there.
It's hard to judge them when they're on the line like that. You don't know how many fights the players will get in during practice when somebody from the other side of the court thinks the ball's on the line and they call it out.
It's kind of the same thing in basketball practice when you call your own foul.
Right.
You know.
They make that shot and say, and one.
Right. We had a player by the name of Cole Hatfield. I love Cole, and just a great individual, great guy. And every practice, he would want to fight somebody over call your own foul. And we would call it to, like, Cole, you're wrong.
Oh, looks like there was some question over that call right there. They called it a tip.
So it's 23-11, Fairland. And we would tell him, Coach Belva and I would tell him, say, Cole, it was a foul. You fouled him. He'd want to fight one of us. I mean, he was just competitive. But Cole made everybody around him a better player. He made us a better coaching staff.
Kylie Bruce with the kill there. Now we've got set point. When a ball goes out off of a block there, they call it tooling.
Tooling?
Yes, and so one of the big cheers that they'll sometimes yell is, you got tooled. And all of us of a certain age, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad that you, I had no idea what it meant, and I wasn't going to ask anybody because I didn't look like an idiot. So. That's one thing I will say, being an athletic director here at the high school, my daughters are amazed at the lingo that I know and understand. And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, I'm around kids every day that are using the same, what is it, no cap is something about lying.
Sometimes I like to just use those words in my class to make them uncomfortable.
Yes.
I'm not always 100% sure what they mean, but.
Yeah, I agree.
And I love it when they think I'm seriously doing it, not just trying to irritate them.
I said something, Yarda asked me something the other night. I told her, gave her an answer back, and she looked at me and she goes, seriously? I said, no cap. She just dropped her head and walked off from it.
That's the way to end a conversation.
That's right.
Tight to the net there. Oh, can't get to it. Dragons just need to push here to get this last point so that they can move on to the fourth set.
Move on to the fourth one. Dragons up 24-14. I did get a score from my brother-in-law. He said that the Dragons won, Fairland girls won 1-0 over South Point. So big win
net from the outside from Camille Hall.
Big win for the Dragons girls soccer
Where are
program.
the girls situated in the OBC?
They are, they have a win over Chesapeake, now a win over South Point, a loss to Rock Hill, and a win over Gallia. So they're 3-1 in the league.
Okay.
They're about 500 overall.
I know that's been a growing program.
Yeah, oh yeah. Tara Hall's doing it. She does a good job with the program. She's been able to get some athletes out every year.
There's point 25.
So Dragons take the third set, 25-15. Let me try to get our scoreboard updated.
Tara's daughter Callie's a senior this year. And I know that since our older girls were there, she's been really working to get girls out and keep the soccer program going.
Yeah, every year when the seniors graduate, we have senior night, and I'm looking out there, and there's 6 or 7 seniors, and I'm thinking, oh, there's 15 girls. We're graduating 7. That's not going to be good. There's not very many in the junior high coming up. And then the next year, Tara will give me a list with 20 names on it.
It is impressive.
So,
it's hard, though. Our middle school team's co-ed, you know.
Yes.
There's just not a lot of girls that come out. My 2 girls play soccer. My little girls. My oldest, obviously, is here at volleyball. But my 2 little girls play soccer, and I'm really hoping that the program will continue to stay solid for when they come up through.
I think Jessie Lewis took over our middle school program. Jessie graduated a couple years ago. We were needing a middle school soccer coach, and was able to talk Jessie into coming out and taking over. My daughter's 7th grade Yardley's playing on the team, and she's a back left defenseman, I think is what it is. Well, she was playing back center, but now she's back left, I believe is what it is. Jessie's done a great job with those kids. There's 6 girls, I believe, on the team. I know my daughter Yardley and Ava Runyon, and I'm forgetting the other girls' names, but I know that they play quite a bit. They're 7th graders. So the program's on the up and coming. Jessie's doing a good job, and I know next year we're going to have even more kids. They're really young. We got a lot of 7th graders playing. Soccer team, our boys are down 2-1 at the half. Is a text message I just got from Josh. So Jason's done a great job. I mean, they got a lot of athletes, a lot of seniors. We're going up tomorrow. The senior soccer players are going up tomorrow for the 2nd and 7 foundation reading thing that we do up at the elementary school. I don't know whose class we're going to be in tomorrow, but every Friday we take a group of senior athletes, band members or cheerleaders. We go up to the elementary school. They're there at 7 o'clock for the meet and greet and good morning. I know the volleyball players were up there a few weeks ago. They're playing volleyball with the kids. The golfers were up there. They were letting the kids do a little putting. Some different things. I don't know what the soccer team's going to be doing in the morning, but it's an outstanding event for our kids, and to watch our kids transform from the little quirky person that they are here to the caring, nurturing person that they turn into up there with those kids is amazing. It brings a lot of joy to my heart to be able to take care of that program, and that we do that 2nd and 7 and allow our kids to give whatever 2nd grade class they're reading to. They break up into groups of 3 or 4, sit down and read with them, and each kid walks away with a book.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. My son's a 2nd grader, and these kids are the closest things to celebrities that he meets in his life, and he loves to give them fist bumps and play games with them.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad we have that program.
Yeah.
Pointer's off to a 1-0 start there. Kylie missed that one a little bit and hit it into the net.
We had got it started with right before, in the winter before COVID hit, we got that program started. several kids that went up and read. I know that Jenna Stone was one of the kids that went up and read with us. I think Harley Lyons. I can't remember who was on the boys basketball team. Luke Thomas, Colin Van Horn, Isaiah Howe. All those kids that went up, and we got that program started. And it was great. And then we lost it the very next year, or in a month and a half, we lost it for the COVID situation. And we weren't allowed back into schools for different reasons. So this is the first year we've been allowed back to do that program, and so excited to get it started again with our kids and allow them to do that. South Point jumps out to early 3-1 lead. Macy Workman back to serve now for the Dragons.
We've got Addison Godby coming back in, and this front line combination of Kylie Bruce and Addison has started off each set pretty well, so hopefully they can put up a few blocks and get us going. Camille Hall is tough on that outside. Those are 2 balls in a row that she's just put almost straight down on us.
Camille has played excellent, and so has Saratina Jackson. Both of them have played great up on this front row for the Pointers. Gracie Carmen up there serving again for the Pointers. A little bit too much mustard on that one.
When you're watching the Dragons over here and you see when we get out of system a little bit, and Macy Workman takes that first ball, as you know, the setter's supposed to take the second ball. When she takes that first ball, Jordan Spencer, the libero, is the one that's stepping up then to try to set the ball. And you'll see her try to mix it up from side to side to try to get that right side and that outside hitter of the ball in those kinds of situations. But getting out of system is a little hard. Your offense is designed to run one way, and so when you get out of system like that, it's hard to get a solid hit, and I think that affected Chloe a little there. Good push from Kylie Bruce.
5-3 Pointers here in the 4th set.
Carly back to serve. Ball's out from Saratina Jackson.
Dragons are starting to claw their way back into this. You know, we were talking the other day, Josh and I were talking Saturday, because I announced for middle school football, I do the announcing on the PA system. And I kept calling them a group or a herd of dragons or something. And it's a thunder of dragons. A group of dragons is called a thunder.
Sounds like a good name for the student section.
Yes, excellent name. So you'll be hearing probably Coach Harris and Coach Carroll talking about when a bunch of dragons make the tackle, a thunder of dragons.
We'll have to get them a sign made. We can even maybe call it the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome.
Not that the Concrete Palace isn't a wonderful name.
Right. Well, I was just thinking we can leave Concrete Palace over there as the nickname. It's Jim Mayo Stadium. The kids have affectionately named it the Concrete Palace over the last few years. Maybe we can start calling this the Carl York Center, aka the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome.
I think the kids would like it. They get behind it. Especially if they can keep their thunder sticks.
Yes, yes.
Good tip from Addison Godby back to that back corner.
Now 7-5.
Miley Murphy back in for the Dragons. Like Bruce and Godby, she's been playing great at the net today too. She's had some really big blocks and some big plays there.
Yes, she has.
Great serve from Jordan Spencer. Did you see that one float a little bit?
A little bit. Not that laser dart that we see. It was kind of a floater. Oh, great tip. Great tip. Dragons tie this up at 7-7. Oh, big hit.
They're going to call her in the net on that one. I don't know, though. I think the ball was in the net.
I'm standing right on the net here. Again, I'm quite a bit of ways away, but I'm standing right on the net. I did not see that. But that's why we pay those guys to call the games.
That was a great job by Macy Workman staying out of the net and still being able to set that ball.
Miley with a great tip. You know, those kills don't have to be huge, just kill shots. They can just be nice little tips like that.
Yep. Well, and we've really capitalized tonight. They're bringing that blocker in from the outside to try to double up on the middle, and there's nobody there to defend that spot. So we've had quite a few points, tips to that spot.
Little miscommunication. I will say, Coach, I am proud of you. We called the game the other night. We've called 3/4 of this game, and you have yet to fall off the stool tonight or out of the chair. So I am proud of you for that feat.
I'm just afraid it would actually be on video this time. You probably just jinxed me, though. I'll probably fall before the game's over.
Molly Adams serving for the Pointers.
Armilovich's tip just out.
Just outside. Dragons take a 10-9 lead here in the 4th set.
Chloe Mayo back to serve. Carly Hall back in for the Dragons. Looks like the Pointers are going to bring in number 20, Emma Sadler.
Now, did you guys get up last week? I know Coach Haynes was talking about, did Aubrey and him go up and watch the men's national team or not?
Aubrey didn't.
Aubrey didn't?
No. I think maybe the varsity team was going, or some of the varsity team. I know some of the girls had mentioned going, but no, Aubrey wasn't there.
It's a big block by Armilovich.
You know, some of our boys are trying to get us to start men's volleyball here.
It is in the Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati areas.
But it's mostly those all-boys schools with their all 6'5" teams.
Yeah, and they all have 2,000 plus males in the building too. So
I've had to break it to our boys that we don't have a lot of boys that are over 6 feet tall.
Right. Well, and the other problem is, like, we've talked about it as a league when they first started, when high school first started this adventure and recognizing male volleyball. It's played in the spring, which is the exact same time as baseball.
Right.
And boys track. So a school our size, it's going to be extremely difficult to field 3 teams and along with the lines of the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association is wanting, and so is Ohio State head coach Ryan Day, they're wanting to add spring football in Ohio.
Really?
So when you start talking about all those things, and lacrosse is another one.
Yeah, it's probably only a matter of time before we see a lot of lacrosse growth. I know around Cincinnati it's already grown a ton.
Yeah, and you see a lot, I think, I know Huntington has a club team that Shane Rowe, one of our students, plays on. I was actually talking to one of Shane's assistant or lacrosse assistant coaches Saturday at the cross-country meet. And he said that Shane's getting some interest from some small colleges that has lacrosse.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, so when you start adding sports at very small schools, you just don't have enough gentlemen or men to play that sport, unfortunately. And somebody's going to suffer from it.
Sarah Tina Jackson with the go-ahead point here. Pointers up 13-12.
So, and I don't know, I think the biggest thing is with spring football, when they've talked about it a little bit, and Ryan Day wanting that in Ohio, is how is that going to look? You know, are we going to take a 2-week shutdown? Are we going to take a 1.5 week shutdown of baseball and track in order for that to happen?
I mean, does he want it for recruiting purposes, or?
I think so. You know, because a lot of big schools are already doing that, or a lot of bigger states, Texas, California, Pennsylvania. You know, a lot of those states already have that spring football. I think Kentucky maybe does a little bit of it. So you know, that's a big component is how's that going to look? Because I know that your baseball coach is not going to be too happy about sending his ace pitcher out there on the football field for a 2-week contact period with full contact. Because, you know, I know now that, you know, excuse me, we've talked about the track coaches or baseball coaches, and when they lose those kids for the North-South game at the end of April, man, if you go up there and get hurt, that's a huge honor. Right. But if you go up there and get hurt, you know, I'm out of shortstop or I'm out of pitcher.
Yep. Kylie Bruce with a big kill to send Carly Hall back to serve again. Dragons and Pointers tied at 14. Yeah, I mean, as a spring sport coach, it's always a worry.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
We're already battling our own injuries. And then adding in, I mean, I have girls that play volleyball, that play basketball, and it's just one rolled ankle or anything, a concussion for football players, and you're struggling to field a team.
Yeah. Well, it's like you. I know Addison was starting for you early, playing quite a bit, and then she went to some spring nationals or whatever it was in basketball.
Yeah, she missed a little over a week actually, and so
she went out. They went out to the Final Four, wasn't it? Something there in Houston.
Yeah.
And then rolled an ankle or something there too. So, and then you basically kind of.
Right, and I mean, her passion's in basketball, and I'm just happy to have her out. But you know, it makes it hard on her. It makes it hard on me, and she doesn't. You know, she wants to be there. She wants to play, and so it's hard on the kids when you take away their choices.
Right.
Chloe Mayo frustrated there with that ball into the net.
15-15.
Malia Johnson back to serve for the Pointers. Couple of pushes for both teams here. Let's look to set up some offense now. And kill for Addison Godby. She kind of paintbrushed that one with her fingers a little bit. She didn't get that good solid palm contact, but she paintbrushed it. It was just enough force to perfectly place it in the middle of the court. Good swing from Miley. Molly Adams is getting a lot of swings out here on the right side, too.
Sorry, Coach, I zoned out there just a few minutes ago. It got a couple of text messages from some people, and it zoned out just a little bit. Dragons up 17-15. Jordan Spencer back to serve.
Big block up against, was that Camille or Layla on the outside?
I think it's Camille out there. South Point with point there. Dragons, I'd like to add, Dragons are up 2-1 here and up 17-16 in this set. Or I should say up 2 sets to 1 and up 17-16 in this set.
It's got to be fun for those sisters to be out there playing together like this on a varsity team.
Yeah, I tell mine all the time. I'd like them. Mine two play 2 different sports other than they play softball together a little bit, but we know how Elle plays softball. As long as maybe I get a gummy worm at first base, you know.
Right.
It's definitely not her passion. But I tell them, you know, you're not going to understand how special this is until you get a little bit older and you get to play on the same team as your sister. But they kind of play different sports with each other. So. Dragons
Molly Adams back to serve. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Dragons up 18-17. Middle school football team with a big 40-0 victory over Portsmouth tonight down at Portsmouth. I'm sure Dick Skettle and some others of his staff are now sitting at the river, enjoying a good ribeye steak or some ribs. Soccer team is now down 3-1 to start the third, or start the second half. Sorry.
Milovich with the push. Good hustle by Jordan. Dig that ball. And a big kill for Miley Murphy.
Dragons up 20-17. Timeout, Pointers. Again, we'd like to remind faculty, staff, janitors, secretaries, cooks, whatever. We're going to have a faculty tailgate party tomorrow night starting at about 6:15 down on the far end of the track, down by the Dragon. Come down, food fair. Again, we think food fair so much. Fruit tray, vegetable tray, and a slider tray.
Yep.
Some of our other teachers are bringing some things, plenty of drinks and chips. So come down, please come down and be a part of that if you're part of the faculty and staff here at Fairland. We're doing it for you guys. It's kind of an appreciation thing and to get you out to come out and support the kids a little bit. So again, faculty and staff, please come down and take part in that tomorrow night.
Hey, come hang out with us. Bring your favorite tailgate food.
That's right.
Oh, good reach there by Audrey Stevenson to keep that ball in.
The good
And the
news
Dragons
is
capitalize with the free ball kill and that strange dance again.
the good news is you won't have to feed Dave and Jack tomorrow night. I think Romeo's is feeding them tomorrow night. Jason Morris is providing all the cold pop water in the press box and chips. Again, Romeo's is providing the food tomorrow night.
Oh, that's been nice. You've had somebody every game, haven't you?
Yeah, Jason Morris provided us Subway and drinks last week. Romeo's stepped up this week on to provide the press box crew some food, and Jason Morris is providing chips and drinks for them up there.
We have great community support.
We do. We do.
Good kill from Carly Hall on the outside here.
22-18 Dragons. Dragons are up 2-1. Again, both teams have one conference loss. Everybody's kind of tied up at the top. Chesapeake, Gallia, Fairland, South Point, all with one loss apiece in the league.
The Dragons are looking to put this one away in the next 3 points. Still here long.
22-19 Dragons. See if I can get a hold of Gallia's AD and see how them and Chesapeake ended up tonight. Two of those teams at the top are going to have 2 losses at the end of the night.
And there's still a lot of volleyball left to be played this season.
Because we are just now, this is our last leg rotation in the first go around. So it all starts over on Tuesday. Actually, I think
volleyball is one of the longest fall schedules, don't they?
Actually, we have Ironton left. We had that one canceled, so we're going to play Ironton on Tuesday, and then we'll start it over. Gallia is up 2-0 on Chesapeake currently.
That's a tough point right there.
2 sets to none, not just 2-0. They're up 2 sets to none.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. Armilovich, the serve.
Good pass. Nice job, Kylie Bruce at the net.
23-21. Great point there by Kylie Bruce. As we see Maddie Evans coming in for Armilovich.
Dragons are excited now.
That's right. Going to be a timeout. South Point. That is their second and final timeout of this set. Now, that's when you start to talking, you're coming out of this timeout, you're up 23-21 in a big rivalry game. You're up 2 sets to 1. You know, you've got to be in your server's ear saying, listen, just relax.
Yep.
You've done this 9 million times in travel ball and games and JV games and in practice. Go out and do your thing. You know, it's kind of like talking to that free throw shooter with a game on the line at the end. Just go out and do the same thing you've done your whole life.
All right, take a deep breath, muscle memory here.
Yeah. You know, it's easy to say as a coach, oh, forget about mom and dad, forget about all the crazies in the thing. Just go do your thing. Macy Workman back to serve for the Dragons.
With an ace, another Starbucks.
No, that's right. Set and game point. Correct? Set,
Yes.
match, game point, whatever.
Yes.
All the above.
All of the words. Great serve.
Good serve.
Go
Big
outside.
play at the net by Addison and Kylie. Again, Kylie with a...
Saratina Jackson coming through big again this game. Is she a senior?
I think so.
She plays like a senior.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is. We got number 5, Gracie Carmen. She's been back there serving at about every situation, big situation. She's been the one taking the
It
serve.
does seem like it.
Yeah.
Another big point for the Pointers. Utilizing that back corner again.
24-23. Remember, in volleyball, you have to win by 2. You have to win by 2. We've got a timeout, Dragons. That is her first timeout. She has 1 left.
They're down there again. They're going to stay excited.
Yeah.
They're going to get this point. I'm calling
You
it.
see a lot of you see a lot of smiles. You know, a little short conversation, a lot of smiles in the.
Kylie does a good job of keeping things light. I think
yeah.
as far as senior leadership goes, she's a great person to have around.
She's been
Addison Godby out here practicing her platform before this serve receive.
She's been Kylie's been in a lot of huge situations, so this is just another day for her. And you called it, and that is a final 25-23. Dragons win.
There go the Thundersticks.
Yes, the Thundersticks are back. Unfortunately, while we were sitting there on the air, I was getting some text messages. I kind of zoned out. Been a situation at Sims Valley. Please keep that school district in your prayers and your thoughts. Going to be a tough few days for them out at Sims Valley. They had a person involved in an accident out there. Again, we send our condolences to the Sims Valley community. When we're in these situations, Coach, we're no longer Fairland, we're no longer Chesapeake. We're one big, huge community, and unfortunately, we've had to deal with this a lot in our area. So again, our prayers, our thoughts are out to the Sims Valley community. And please, if you need to talk to somebody, you're a high school student, get a hold of your counselors, get a hold of your teachers, and
Somebody to help.
Somebody to help. We don't like signing off necessarily with this type of stuff, but you know, again, Sims Valley community, our prayers and thoughts are with you. If you need somebody to talk to, your teachers, your counselors are there for you. Please go see them and talk to them. As we sign off, Dragons with a big win tonight, leaves them at least tied for first place in the league. We're going to see you back here probably one day next week for another volleyball match. Football game tomorrow night. Pregame starts at 6 to 6:20. Then the Codgers, Coach Carroll and Coach Harris will be on at 7. So, again, we'll see you tomorrow night.
I will see you there for the tailgate.
Thanks, guys.